Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Shirk. I'm the supervisor for the Special Programs Unit within the Bureau of Workforce Partnership and Operations here within Labor and Industry. The programs I'm about to speak to you today about, I think will help get your clients' foot in the door to get back into the workforce in general. Okay, the agenda for today. The first federal program I'm going to talk about is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. And once we're done with that, we'll talk about the federal bonding program. Okay, what is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, or around here we like to call it WOTC? And if you don't mind, I'll refer to it as WOTC throughout the rest of the presentation. WOTC's been around for quite a while. It's a federal tax program, not state. It's a federal program that is made available to employers as an incentive to hire individuals in certain target groups. Those include 5 veteran different target groups and 9 other non-veteran target groups. And we'll get into more detail about those in just a few slides. Okay, what does WOTC do for employers? Well, it saves employers money. This is how it works. Once an employer hires an individual who qualifies for one of the target groups for the WOTC program, whatever amount that credit is, that reduces the employer's federal tax liability at the end of the year when they go to file their corporate income tax. And that's quite a bit of money, especially when you talk about these smaller employers out there. Employers can submit an application for everybody they bring on board. There's not a limit on the number of new hires they can submit applications for. Any size employer can benefit from this program. It doesn't have to be the big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, or Target. It can be a small mom and pop shop. So let me give you an example. We have Hornung's Hardware, which is right down here on 2nd Street in Harrisburg. Mrs. Hornung got involved in the program about 5-6 years ago. She's been very happy with it. It saved her and her husband a lot of money. And I'll tell you how small they are. They have maybe 1 to 2 people on board, on staff at one time. And so this program has been a huge benefit to them, and I know she's greatly appreciative of the program and spreads the word to other employers around Harrisburg. Now, something new about 4 or 5 years ago, qualified tax-exempt organizations are eligible to claim the credit. There's only one caveat. They must hire one of the 5 veteran target groups. Now, the way the program saves money for these qualified tax-exempt organizations, it doesn't reduce their federal tax liability. It reduces their Social Security tax at the end of the year. It's a little bit different than the for-profit employers. Okay, the non-veteran target groups. We have TANF, long and short-term recipients, SNAP recipient, which is formerly food stamps, summer youth, designated community residents. Those are folks living in Warren and Venango County. We also have vocational rehabilitation referrals. And there you go, ex-felon. Now, to qualify for the ex-felon category, the person must be hired within 1 year of a release date or a conviction date. Now, there's multiple release dates that we can use, and I'll get into those a little bit later. Also, a supplemental security income recipient, and the last one, long-term unemployment recipient. Okay, the veteran target groups. First one, veteran or a family member who receives SNAP benefits for at least 3-month period during the 15-month period ending on the hiring date. Now you're thinking, what the heck is he talking about? Well, what you want to do is you take the hire date and you go back 15 months. And if for any 3-month consecutive period that veteran received food stamps within that 15-month period, they would be eligible. We have 2 disabled veteran target groups. One, disabled veteran hired within 1 year of a discharge date from active duty. Also, disabled veteran unemployed 6 months or more. Then we have the 2 unemployed veteran target groups. One is a veteran who is unemployed for at least 4 weeks up to 6 months, and one who is unemployed 6 months or more. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm talking about these veteran target groups to you all. Sure, the ex-felons out there for your clients who are individuals who committed a felony, but hey, if your clients did not commit a felony, or they did, if they are a veteran and you think they might qualify for one of these target groups, you can submit them for 2 different target groups, being ex-felon and a veteran or whatever, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. Definition of a veteran. Now, this is a little bit different than what the vet reps out on all the career links use, but this is any person who has served on active duty in the United States Armed Forces for at least 180 days Now, that 180 days cannot include training time. That means basic training and the school they go to learn their job. It has to be pure active duty time. And you see I have an or there, or if the person is collecting compensation for a service-connected disability. The reason I have or, if that person is collecting that compensation for the service-connected disability, that 180 days go out the window. The person could have served a couple weeks, couple months. As long as they're served, and they're collecting compensation for service-connected disability, they would qualify. Okay, of course, there's always got to be someone that's not eligible. 1, relatives and dependents of the employer. Can't do it. Former employees. It doesn't matter how long ago they worked for the employer. If they are a rehire, they do not qualify for the tax credit. And lastly, majority owners of the business do not qualify. Okay, you'll see some of the non-veteran credit amounts up on the screen there. And you'll notice I have a minimum and a maximum. And underneath I have hours related to those amounts. Okay, to receive the minimum credit in that left lane, the employee must work at least 120 hours. And for the employer to receive the maximum credit, again, they have to work a minimum of 400 hours. Now let's go on to the rest of the non-veteran groups. You'll see there 1,500 and 2,400 are the normals for most of the non-veteran credit amounts. Now let's look into the veteran target groups. You'll see, this is why I mentioned if your client is also a veteran and may qualify, you might want to put them in for one of these target groups as well as the excellent or one of the other ones, because you see how much more the veteran amounts are as compared to the non-veteran amounts. Quite a bit of difference. Tax-exempt organizations. Okay, the minimum maximum hours are still the same, but the credit amounts are a little bit different. They range from $975 all the way to $62.40. Again, remember, those amounts are taken from their Social Security tax, not reducing their federal tax liability. Okay, applying for the credit. Very easy. There's 2 forms that are required. One is an IRS form in 8850, and the other one is an ETA form 9061. Or, you'll see highlighted in red, an ETA form 9062. Now, this is why I'm having you watch this presentation. This form is the one that's going to help your clients get their foot in the door to get back into the workforce. So if you give me just 1 second here, I'd like to share my desktop, and I want to bring this form into view so I can go over the form, step by step when it needs to be filled out. And so just give me 1 more minute here, second here, and okay. Now you should see the ETA form 9062 up on your screen, and you'll notice the title of this form, a Conditional Certification Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Okay, basically what this form does, it conditionally certifies your client for the tax credit. So you combine this form along with the 8850, they take these with them on an interview, and they show these forms to the employer. Hey, guess what, I'm conditionally certified. I can save you money. I can reduce your federal tax liability. I'm telling you, they're going to get their foot in the door. The employer's going to look and say, hey, holy heck, I didn't know about this. Now, the form's very easy to fill out. Go to box 2. You want to put a check mark in where it says State Workforce Agency or SWA, State Workforce Agency. Then, if you're submitting your client for the XL and TAR group, then you want to put the conviction date of the felony. Don't worry about their prisoner number. You don't need that. Release date. Again, remember I told you, release from prison, or release from prison into parole, or release from prison into work release, or you can use the from work release if release from work release if jail time was served. Okay, and then date completed, the date you complete the form. And then you want to put your information in box 5. You sign in box 6, box 7 your telephone number. In part 1, you want to put your client's name and information in box 8. Box 9 is a social, but I would wait and have them write that in when they get hired or after they get hired. And then here in box 10, you want to enter, there we go, excellent, that's target group C. And then the client's address and telephone number. And here, if you're going to submit for ex-felon, or just, if you just want to submit it for a veteran, if he was a person was a veteran, and they do, you want to put the information in here, check which box. And then the client, your applicant or client can sign the form or wait till he's hired, either way. And then this form again gets taken to the 8850, to the interview, and then the employer, if they do hire the person, they fill out the bottom here. They would put their name and address of the company, job title, employment start date, starting wage, the name of the employer, signature, and the date. And again, this would just accompany with the 8850 form. Now, along with the email that is with this webinar are going to be the blank forms 8850 9062, also this example form that has the highlighted portion so you won't forget what to fill in when you're dealing with your clients. Also some informational paperwork, more detailed information about the target groups, more information about the program in general. Also an instructional sheet on how to fill out both forms, who fills out what, because the employee fills out a portion of the 8850 and the employer fills out also a different portion of the 8850. So there's an instructional sheet for both forms, what you need to do, and it has my contact information as well. So now what I'd like to do is go back to the presentation. So if you give me one moment here, I'll bring the presentation back up onto the screen. Thank you. Okay, we're back to the presentation. Now, remember, I told you about the two forms that are needed. Now, the best way to submit these is electronically on our website, which is www.cwds.pa.gov. The really important thing is here, these forms must be submitted within 28 days from the start date. So let me give you an example. If you have an employee beginning work today, you have 28 calendar days to get those forms submitted electronically. Now, for some reason, if it's a small mom and pop shop like Mrs. Hornung down the street, she likes to mail the applications into me, they must be postmarked in the mail within 28 days. If they submit them electronically, what happens is when they get to the bottom of the application screen, they click on that Submit Application button. That creates the postmark date for the application. Now, if the employer does not have a company profile on the website, I have desk guides with step-by-step screenshots. Makes it very easy for them to create the company profile. I also have desk guides for them how to submit the applications and all kinds of other information that are available. Where can they get the forms? Well, I'm sure you can supply them to them, or what they can do is in CWDS, they can go up in the upper right-hand corner and click on that help icon. You'll see it there in the middle of the screen. And then they want to look under List of Miscellaneous Documents. Not only will all the forms that are necessary to submit an application be there, there's also a bunch of informational paperwork as well, and also those desk guides that I mentioned just a little while ago. Okay, on to the federal bonding program. I'm sure some of you have heard of this program, some may have not. This program's been around for more than 50 years, and this is going to be very beneficial to your clients who aren't ex-felons and who aren't veterans. It can also help those folks out as well. I mean, you can combine this program with the Work Opportunity Tax Credit program. Oh my goodness, you won't believe it. So let's get on. What is the program objective? This program was created as an incentive for employers to bring on board at-risk individuals, people looking for work who they feel they're at risk to hire. Now you're probably wondering, who do I mean by at risk? Well, of course, first thing that comes to mind, ex-offenders. But that's not necessarily the case. Say someone wants to go work in a bank, be a teller, and they've filed for the job. If they filed bankruptcy in the past, hey, that could be an at-risk, so I could issue a bond there. Recovering substance addicts, dishonorably discharged from the military. Again, anybody who the employer feels is at risk when they hire this person to bring them on board. Also, if an employer has an employee who he wants to promote and give that person increased monetary responsibilities, hey, they might be responsible for much more expensive equipment, or they're going to be doing the payroll or more portions of the payroll and so forth. I can issue a bond on the day of their promotion. All they need to do is call me. Some of the highlights. This program costs zero for both the job seeker and the employer. Absolutely nothing. No paperwork. I take care of everything. The bond is issued immediately after I say, hey, I'm going to issue a bond. There's no wait time, nothing. No deductible like your car or homeowner's insurance. If the employer would need to file a claim, again, they would put nothing in. The bond is good for 6 months, and it protects the employer up to $5,000 against theft of property or money. Some of the restrictions, sure, of course, you got to be a legal working age. The employee must pay federal taxes through payroll deduction. The job must be at least 6 months in length. I cannot issue a bond for any job less than 6 months. The bond is good for 6 months. I would hate to waste a bond that I could give to somebody that a job is more 6 months or more. And of course, self-employed individuals are not eligible. So what's the process? Okay, the employer contacts me on the employee's first day of work or the first day of promotion. I will sign on to the website, bring on the online request form, fill it out. Usually takes maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Once I click submit, the bond is issued. It's effective immediately. It's received into the federal bonding website, and within 10 days, the employer receives the federal bonding packet. Within that packet is the actual bond certificate. Secondly is our instructions if the employer would ever have to file a claim. I can tell you within the 8 to 9 years I've been the federal bonding coordinator for the state of Pennsylvania, I've never had an employer file a claim. Also included within that packet is our instructions if the employer would like to, let's say, extend the bond for an additional 6 months. Now, again, the first 6 months is on the Commonwealth. It's free. The bond is issued by the Union Insurance Group, and they will determine what the additional 6 months would be. Now, I spoke with them, and they said it's on a case-by-case basis. It goes by the charges that person has in the past and also their job responsibilities. So 2 different things play there. But again, the first 6 months is on the state. Okay, my contact information is on the screen. Again, I want to thank you for participating and watching my presentation. I'm available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3. If you happen to call after hours, like after 3, I will return your call within 24 hours. I also encourage you to give my information out to these employers. I like talking to them. I like bringing them on board. Like I said, if they're not familiar with our website for the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, I will help them build a company profile. I'll help them with the paperwork, whatever I can do to assist in helping your clients get hired. I'm here for you, and I'm here for your clients as well. Again, I want to thank you, and if you ever have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to call me. Thank you so much. Goodbye.